Hello, and welcome to For some reason, I'm having horrible allergies this week, so I'm wearing sunglasses because my eyes are really sensitive and you don't need to see how red they look. So I'm gonna do a second Halloween haul, and let's just get right into it. So I think for these, they're going to overall be a little bit more. Well, we have year-round sort of like gothic stuff, but also we have some more Halloween-y type things. So let's start off with Dollar Tree. Actually, let's just start off right here with this thing I got from Dollar Tree. This really cool fake candle. Let's turn it on. Also, now my mouth is dry because I'm taking allergy medication, so if you see me like kind of doing that or something, it's because I'm trying to speak but my mouth is really dry. So sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, this has a more like whitish blue type light, which at first I was thinking, well, I don't know how I feel about that because the other candles from Dollar Tree have this more like realistic candle like type light, so I didn't know would that look weird together. Now I'm having a hair in my eye. This is just a really great day. Like I didn't know like would that look weird together, but I'm thinking that like this one would be good for maybe winter because it's almost like a little bit of that like blue sort of like whitish blue type light that could be good for like a snowy, icy type thing. But anyway, look at this. I'll put this down. But look at this super cool picture where we've got the raven and the tombstone, and it's on both sides as well. I think I got the last one. There was also a cool one that was kind of like a skeleton that kind of looked like it was breaking out. Like it had like the marks of like cracks. It was all in the black design, but like kind of looked like it was coming out. But I decided that like I didn't know exactly at the store how I would feel about the whitish blue type of light, so I just ended up getting one. I also have to remember in this video at some point to do a thumbnail shot because the last few videos I've done I've forgotten to do that, and then I'm trying to like pause a point in the video where it's slightly less blurry to have the thumbnail. The next item that I got, this was in the $3 section. Creepy plant. Very descriptive. But it's this like man-eating plant, which I think I'm going to probably do some paint touch-ups. But I had already gotten, which I showed in the last video, these sort of man-eating plant things from At Home. But this one is more like a freestanding plant where I thought it was unique how it had like the sort of viney things. Do I have just a plain background? Because I feel like you can't see this super well. Oh, actually, I'll just use myself. Oh, I have a print on my shirt. Okay, well here we go. Maybe you can see that. But where it has like, I'm short. I can't get my black shirt up tall enough. But like it has these different. Oh, there we go. Alright, you can kind of see that. Right, it has like this vine, and it has these different sort of pieces going up there. So it, and the leaves and stuff. So it gives the look of it's like just a freestanding plant. I was thinking that this would be really great for like a summer type thing, or even like a spring type thing. But like what was that famous novel? Was it Dr. Moreau's Island? Something where you had like the hybrid like animal people that, or he was like the crazy scientist on the tropical island, But I was thinking like a thing like that, but like it's plants, like the spooky botanist, you know, on the tropical island. Like I was thinking like this would be great for that. It's in a sort of like a pumpkin looking thing, but I was thinking I'd probably end up either putting this one in a pot or like maybe repainting this or something, um, just to make it look a little bit like, I think it's cool like this, but just try to like make it look a little bit more high end or something. But I was thinking of maybe like giving some gradient to the top or something, maybe even like put in a few more teeth. And I'm not sure exactly what these pieces in here are supposed to be, if that's supposed to be a tongue. There we go, now you can kind of see it. But they are bendable. So I was thinking like maybe putting in a more, like a longer tongue or something. We'll see what I end up doing with it. But anyway, I've always been fascinated by Venus flytraps, and I always love all the man-eating plant stuff, but it's always like expensive stuff where it's like a big pot of it or something, or it's like just an expensive thing that's sort of largish, and it's like I don't have enough space for that. And like this is just like, this is kind of a low commitment thing where you can get the effect so of like having the whole plant, so I went with this. But I think I'm, alright, stay upright please, there we go. I think I'm just gonna keep this one in this sort of pot pumpkin thing that it's got here. And this is one, they also had one that was like a little bit more of a like a pinkish color and had an eyeball in it, but I already have, do I have something I can just show that's sitting right here that's easy to show? I already have, maybe not. That doesn't happen to be it. No, of course it doesn't. I already have though, is that it? No, I'm trying way too hard to just like, do I just have it casually on hand I could just show? But I already have some plants from Dollar Tree that are like in the bouquet that are plants that have like the eyeball in it, so I didn't feel like I needed the other one. And it was kind of like, I can't remember if it was more pinkish or purplish, but it was a color I don't really use anyway. So I just went with another type of flower that I think is cool, and again I might end up doing some sort of a touch up to make it look a little bit more like menacing, like the teeth are actually really part of the flower instead of like kind of attached in there. But anyway, here's another one I thought that was really cool, that's like the vampire plant. It's the plant with the vampire teeth. I really liked the idea of like a vampire plant. I thought that was really cool and could go both with, sorry, I don't know what the deal is with my allergies. It could go both with like the man-eating plant, sort of like creepy botanist on a tropical island thing for summer, but it also could be like a vampire type theme, like it's a vampire plant. Now I'll pose for a thumbnail right here, and then we'll see what I end up doing. Alright, there. If all else fails, I have something I can use for a thumbnail that's not me chaotically trying to pause in a slightly less blurry moment. Alright. Then I got this, maybe I should just put some chapstick on. Like, my lips are like, hello, time to dry out. Then I got this, which hopefully you can kind of see. Can we see that? Or am I, how do I get this so I'm not in the shadow of it? Okay, maybe that's pretty good. But and then I got this candle holder, which can be for both a taper candle or to put a larger candle on. And I got the snake because I'm going to put an apple on it, so it's like the Garden of Eden serpent. with a forbidden fruit, which I thought was quite cool. But I think, like, it looks great just like this, and it goes with my color scheme, so I was like, oh, do I really want to repaint it? But I'm thinking of actually having this be like a winter theme, so I'm thinking of having this be like where the black part is white, and then have the apple also have white in it, and have it be like it's an icy winter thing. But we'll see what I end up doing with it. If I end up leaving it just like this, I think I'm going to have the apple be a dark red, like a really dark glossy red. But anyway, so there's the snake. And you can use it for other things, not just a candle. Put something else on there. But there's the full Dollar Tree experience there. We've got the Dollar Tree candle on the Dollar Tree thing, and it's really actually substantial too. It's fairly heavy. I would suggest when you get it, and this kind of goes for anything because wobbly things just like really bother me, but like when you're there, just put it on a flat surface and just try to get one that's less, like if there's multiple, just get the least wobbly one. Because there was one there that was rather wobbly, and I'm like, oh, okay, this will be annoying if you're trying to put something on it and it's like tippy. And then the last item that I got from Dollar Tree was a thing that I saw online. I'm like, oh, that is really cool. I really hope I can find that. And that is, let's see, which one side is the tiniest bit less fuzzy so you can see the design a little better. And that is this great blanket that's like sort of this damask design. Let's hold it up. Can you get a good look of that? I can't see. I'm behind it. Hopefully you're getting a good look of that. Like the whole design. But it's like this sort of Victorian Gothic looking damask design, obviously with the skull and crossbones. Again, I can't really see what I'm getting. Now I look like a librarian. But I still can't see because when I look down, I can't see it. Okay, so it has... I'm like having a lot of trouble seeing what I'm getting on camera. But it has like some subtle cobweb sort of design. And this nice, like, old wallpaper looking design in there. The only thing that could be better is if it was a slightly less cartoony looking skull and crossbone, in my opinion. It would look a little bit more macabre. But anyway, I love this regardless. It's really fuzzy. There's the slightly fuzzier side, but I mean they're both fuzzy. It's like a nice dark color on both sides. Nice dark black. Anyway, so really happy that I found that. Got hooked up under my nose. You don't come here for professionalism, even though I really try, but let's just be honest. Alright, so that's what we got at Dollar Tree. Oh wait, no. I also got some craft supplies, so we'll just show this. So we've got these small foam skulls that are pure white and glittery. Can we tell that they're glittery on camera? Anyway, they are, right? Yeah, they are. Like, I think I remember these were glittery. Yeah, so we have those, which I like the foam because you could cut it if you wanted, like cut the back off and put it up against something, which I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to use these for yet. So, but just having the pure white glittery, I thought, I have, later you'll also see a thing which maybe I should have shown a little earlier because some of these things kind of have to do with that, but I have an item that, and here's some bones that are the same thing. They are great. You can use them as a craft project. If you paint them, they get, because they have the glitter on them, even if you try to get it off, there's still, if you paint over it to get more like a natural bone color, you still get where it's like bumpy. But last year, or the year before that, I got some and I painted them a more natural bone color, but I'm thinking of just leaving these as is and having the pure white, like snowy white, sort of like glistening snowy ones that I could use for like an icy winter thing. Then I got 2 of these because these always come in handy for like everything. Just these little plastic skulls. But anyway, maybe I should have shown one of the, I got an item that is from Michael's Haunted Forest collection, which I maybe should have shown earlier on, because some things, like, I thought I got inspired to do, like, more like white winter creepy thing because of that. And some of these things, like, I've gotten some things that are white things, or things that I'm thinking of using as white things if they're not already white, to go with a thing with that. So maybe I should have shown that earlier so that you could see, like, it's not all like me trying to hint at what it is without giving the Michaels thing away. But then also at Dollar Tree I got these rub-on transfer decals. So there's this sort of like mystical, spooky, like haunted house, gravestones, mystical moon, these nice crows. Someone's in the shower. Hopefully that's not too distracting. Hopefully you can't hear that too much. I was trying to film this before anyone woke up, but I got up a little too late. So anyway, and then there's the more like classic Halloween one. Are we getting too much glare on that? You can still see that. And it's, I thought it kind of looked like with these pumpkins and stuff, like that would be good for like a Samhain thing. It's a little bit, like, it's not cartoony. It's like the cutesy cartoon thing. It's like a little bit darker. It's got the bats, which I really like. Like the pumpkins look a little bit more like it could be like an old folk thing or something. Like an old spooky folk drawing. It's got a little bit of like a darker twist to it, like the bones in the cauldron, the skulls, the eye, stuff like that. So I think that's everything from Dollar Tree. Okay, I'm pretty sure that this was Home Goods. My mom and I were doing something and we ended up going by a Home Goods. I'm like, oh, let's stop in and see if they have Halloween stuff. So she actually ended up coming across these, and they're these soaps, which this one is patchouli and sandalwood. It's got this nice little tag on it, but then it's going to be blocking us. Like, I'm not showing you the thing, and I'm just, like, up here. It's like, yes, let's look at the side of my head. That's what you came to see. But they're these, like, this one's a nice, musky, sort of slightly spicy smell. And this is, like, a more Halloween thing. Let's take these off so we can read what it says. Alright, let's... There we go. Halloween party. Once again, I'm just like, let's see my nose and half of the thing. Halloween party, dress up, celebrate, Castel Bell limited edition, patchouli and sandalwood, hand-wrapped fragrant soap bar, made in Portugal. Oh, and then, so it says up in these designs, dress up, celebrate, and get trapped, because it's a spider, which I normally don't go for spider stuff. Spiders kind of gross me out. But I thought this one was, I could tolerate this one. I like this sort of like, it's like almost like an old witchy like woodcut or sketch type of, like I usually don't like stuff. Oh, and there's two bars in it that look the same. And it was $5.99 for both of these. What was I gonna say? I usually don't like this sort of like vintage stuff, but this to me looked enough like it was an old witchy like label, like with, it's got kind of like the Victorian designs and stuff in it, that I'm like, okay, yeah. And it's a nice scent. I love patchouli, and I also like sandalwood. It's almost got like a little bit of a, almost like a little bit of a spicy smell to it. Like, that's kind of like a Halloween-y spice, like cinnamony, or not really cinnamon, but maybe like, it's just kind of got like a musky, like it's an old witchy shop type of thing. And then this next one, which has one of my favorite character designs, a plague doctor. So, had to get this one. It says, eat, drink, and be scary. Spooky pumpkin scented soap made in Portugal. By the same brand. Look at that, great plague doctor. And this also has two in it. And I took a label off, so that's why it's kind of shiny there, but it's got like this, oh, I could have showed that side. It's got like this, the packaging is really cool. And then the other side is orange. So there's two, and there's a purple one and an orange one. I have just one nose hair that's like, hi, tickle time. And this again is like a deep, like a nice deep musky with like cinnamony with some pumpkin type of scent. But anyway, and this was the same price. I can't find a, oh, I guess I took the price off of it. But anyway, if I didn't finish my thought earlier, I was trying to show that it's got like kind of the color on the side, which is cool. So I'm planning on using these, but like really carefully undoing the edge and sliding it out so I can keep the package, because the package is super cool. Alright, we're back. And of course I couldn't have scratched my lip before I came on camera. Okay. So the next thing I got is from Marshalls, I think. And I think that this was like $15. Look how cool that is. I'm going to be repainting the frame to, I think, silver. I don't do gold. Silver is my color. Maybe, should I do a thumbnail for this? Okay, we'll just go with that. But it's this amazing 3D wraith coming out of this picture frame. And I love that it's like, like the sheet over it is so cool. And it's got this skeleton head, so it's also sort of like a Grim Reaper, which is another motif I love. And I love like the gothic frame. And then it's got this heavy duty thing on the back to hang it up that I was kind of like, okay, that's good thinking when I saw that it's sort of a little bit like crooked and off to the side on the back, because I think what that means is that they factored in that this is going to make it not sit straight if you just have it on flat normally. And it's also got like where it's coming out of the frame, it's, hopefully you can kind of see, Let's get a close up of my nose. Yeah, okay, great. Um, but hopefully you can kind of see that, like, there's a little bit of, like, almost a ripple effect as it's, like, coming out of, like, entering our side of the veil of the worlds or whatever, as it's like making its way out of the picture or mirror or whatever exactly this is supposed to be. Um, but there was a really great thing that I loved at Michael's that was like this super tall, big, standing like um, white like sheet wraith thing, but it was like I think it was like $70 or something really pricey, and it was enormous, and I don't have room for that anyway. So this, when I came across this kind of quenched my love of like, oh, that like the veiled sheet, like where you can see like all the creases in the sheet wraith thing is so cool. Like this for, I think it was $15, was, I'm like, okay, yeah, that kind of gets me over that, because I don't have anything that's like that. But we've got this, and I have more wall space than I do like sitting space, so this will be good. And then speaking of Michaels, the I got from the Haunted Forest collection this creepy headless crow candle holder, which will be perfect for any like folk horror, like creepy folk witch sort of thing. And I saw for one of the other years they had a, I guess it must have been last year, they had a like black or really dark gray one, and I really regretted not getting it afterwards, because I already, whatever year this was, I already got stuff where I'm like, okay, I kind of feel like I spent a lot of money, so I didn't end up getting it, and I ended up really regretting it afterwards. So I ended up getting this one this year, and it is white, which doesn't really go with the stuff I have. Like I was thinking like, oh, it'd be like a dark like witchy, like the black wood witch house in the creepy forest, and then like this like unsettling headless crow candle holder thing. But so I was thinking originally like I'd probably end up painting this, but at least for the time being, I'm gonna try to do a little setup that is like the white, like creepy stuff, because I think that like I'm not a big fan of like that sort of like shabby chic look, which a lot of times the white stuff ends up having. I do wish this was slightly less just the absolute starkest white in the entire world. I like a lot of the things in the collection were a slightly more like aged looking, so I wish that it just so happened that this was one of them. But um, I'm going to try to do a thing that's like white and like very like creepy gothic folk horror type of thing. We'll see exactly, depending on what elements we end up with, what exact direction it goes in. If it's more like a creepy winter cathedral thing, or like a creepy like folk horror witch thing. But I'm thinking for at least some period of time I'm going to be leaving this white. And the original price on this in store was $22.99, which I got because I'm like, this sold out fast last year, so I'm going to get it now, and then if I change my mind I can return it, because that's kind of a lot of money, I feel like. But I ended up, then recently they went on 40% off. I think, yeah, 40% off for that collection, so I was able to do that, and then I had a $5 voucher from the rewards program. When you spend a certain amount of money, then you end up getting a $5 voucher, so I ended up getting it for like $8 and some cents, so that was incredible. It's like, yeah, that, and it even has silver, which is my color. Metal Color. They also had a really cool like tree, like creepy tree multiple candle holder thing, but the metal was gold, so that was a good excuse for to be able to tell myself of why I wasn't getting it, because I have a lot of stuff, and I'm like, I can only get something if it's just the absolute most unique, like I've never seen anything remotely like this, and I never will ever again type of thing. And this was certainly one of those things. I have a bad habit of like kind of starting a thought and then not finishing it, because I know there was just a thing I was talking about that I didn't end up finish talking about. Oh, I guess that tree candle holder thing. But like at this point, it's like, which I've been doing for the last few years, but like now especially, it's like, even if something's really cool, like unless there's something where it's like it perfectly works for a very specific thing I do that like I'm always doing, or if it's like just the cool, like it has to just be like the coolest thing ever, that like if the house burned down, that was the only thing I could grab, like I would be like satisfied with that. Yeah, I overthink everything. I have limited space. But anyway, this was like, it just is like so like just weird and unsettling, and like works perfectly for like a folk horror thing, I thought. Or if I get something, it has to be like, it works perfectly for a specific, like it's a prop thing for like videos that I can use over and over for like every possible thing. And I just kind of felt like I already have stuff that's like tree branch stuff. I don't need a tree branch candle holder. I don't have space for that anyway. But anyway, so there was that also, which was a cool thing. But I ended up just getting this, and that was the one thing that I got from Michaels. And then I guess we'll go Spirit Halloween next, because this ties into something I got there. I got, which I've been looking for these everywhere, because I think it was last year, the year before, at Home, they had these, but this year they just had the ones that were black, and I'm like, no, it has, that, ironically, this is the one year where I'm like, it has to be white, that's the entire thing, and it's the famous bleeding candles, where we're hoping that it works out as it's supposed to, and they're these white candles that when you burn them, they have the red on the inside, so the red is what the wax is when it melts down. So I got 2 of those packages that are the pack of 2. What price were those? I got 2 of these packages, and you get 2 candles for $4.99, and I feel like that's actually a pretty good price. So that's from Spirit Halloween, I think I already said. And so I'm going to have the creepy, weird, headless white crow with then the white candle in it. And sometimes the bleeding candles, and in this exact light, this candle almost looks slightly more extremely light gray, but sometimes the bleeding candles will, you can see some like pink, like they're almost, even if they're supposed to be white, they're actually pink. But I like that this is just purely the solid, whatever color this is, which compared to the stark white bird almost looks slightly gray, but we're just gonna say it's white. This is what I mean though, like this bird ironically is like the one thing that's so white in that collection, and I wish it was slightly more not stark white. So we'll see if I end up doing any sort of like brushing on this of any sort. I just don't like that shabby chic sort of like country house farm thing that a lot of times white age stuff ends up with. I want just absolutely not that at all. So we'll see if I end up coming up with some way to age this in a way that it looks like a creepy, like, folk horror type wood look, perhaps. But anyway, so this is how this is gonna look, and I think that's pretty cool. And like I said, I'm hoping that the bleeding candle red thing works as it's supposed to, and is like really obvious, but even if it's not perfectly obvious, I still think that that is just a good, like, just unsettling, like, you're not exactly sure why it's disturbing at very first, and then you realize, like, oh, it's like the bird without the head. So like that's the type of stuff I really like, where it's like there's something that's like unsettling about it, but you aren't exactly sure at first, like, why it's creepy. um, so this is another thing I got at Spirit Halloween, and it is the Crying Soul Tombstone, which was $15. I thought that this was this, like, I've recently been intrigued by like the crying cemetery angel, or like the weeping cemetery angel, or just kind of creepy cemetery statue in general stuff. And Spirit Halloween had this very thick foam tombstone. It is made to go out in the yard, so it comes like with the stakes to put in to do that, but I'll just have it as an indoor thing. I haven't taken out the plastic quite yet, but I this is a good, like, it's a big, much more like realistic, creepy looking cemetery statue thing compared to the cheap, like, $1.25 ones that I've gotten at. I have two of them that I've gotten at Dollar Tree, just so that I would have something that was a tombstone for the background of things. But now this is like a much more like serious looking one that is a lot more like gothic and macabre. And I think that, like, I like how it's like the unique thing of like it's the creepy angel. It's not just a regular tombstone, and that it's very large, so I can have it in the background of a video and be like, oh, it's this stone statue or tombstone type thing. So the water's running over there. So hopefully that's not too distracting. My room is right next to the bathroom over there, so when someone's showering or something, you can hear it comes through the wall. But I, even though I like the fake tombstones, I generally stay away from getting any more, which this, I'm pretty sure this will be the last one of these foam ones that I get. I generally stay away from these because I feel like it really ends up with an area looking like immediately it goes from it's actually like the creepy gothic manor or whatever type of witch hut or whatever the exact vibe is you're going for. It goes from that to like Halloween decoration store really fast once you get like any plastic, or not plastic, but of these foam tombstones, because that's just like such an iconic like Halloween decoration type of thing. But I really like this one so much that I'm like, I'll get that one, and then I'll have my angel tombstone decoration. As you've probably noticed, I have like a combination of different things here, where it's like the more like gothic macabre, like totally like all year round type of stuff, and then like the stuff that's a little bit more like, oh, it's the Halloween decoration like this or like that or something, where it's like the like thing where it looks like the cheap plastic or foam Halloween decoration. When I do get something that's like this, I either do some different works on it myself to try to make it look less like the plastic Halloween decoration, or something like this where I'll just have like the one thing blended in with all of like the macabre decor, so it kind of tricks you into not like just seeing what the motif is and the overall like what it's supposed to look like, and not like, oh look, another foam decoration thing. So anyway, that was like the most non-cohesive way of trying to explain that, but hopefully you get what I'm trying to say, because I don't like just looking like I'm living in the storage room for like Halloween decorations. I like it to look like it's overall like this macabre, actual, like, creepy house. But then there's these different elements where it's like, if I can only get, like, I'm not going to be able to actually get, like, for so many reasons, I'm not going to actually be getting, like, some, like, spooky actual stone angel statue. So, like, this is the stand in for that. But even if it's not actually, like, that's why am I having such a hard time explaining this? Basically, what I'm trying to say is if there's something where I'm not going to be getting what the thing actually is, but there's something that gives off, like, really well gives off the effect of it, I want everything else I have to be enough of, like, it's actual, like, the real materials, or it's, like, something where it's, like, made out of something that seems like it's a real, like, more old world substantial material, not like plastic or foam, or at least not like super obvious like plastic or foam. So that then when I do have an item like this, then it just kind of blends in and it doesn't tip it over the edge into like totally Halloween decoration stuff. But another thing about this is because it's substantial for like a foam thing, but because it is lightweight, I can just like put this anywhere. I can put it like where I've been filming the relaxation videos. I just had I needed something that was a very specific height to put things on in the background, and I just got a like one of those big value pack things of bath tissue, and just set the things on that. So like something like this, I could just set that on that, and it wouldn't like crush it because it's made out of stone, and I need a big wood, solid wood desk to put it on or something. Like it's a lot more versatile for prop purposes. So anyway, so I'm really happy with that. Is that I almost forgot the obvious. I put it up here so I wouldn't forget to show it. The other thing that I got from Spirit Halloween, which is this little plastic skull. Look at this, the jaw moves. But I got this because years ago at home, I got this one, and it comes in handy for everything, but I've never been able to find it anywhere since, and it was just like $2 or something. I'm always since been like, why didn't I get two? So anyway, so I've never seen anything like this somehow since. It's just like this really lightweight plastic thing that you can just like tape onto something temporarily for like I've taped it onto the end of like a wrapping paper, like used wrapping paper pole thing that the wrapping paper sold around, and had like a staff with this on the top. Like I've done all sorts of things with this, so it's like I'd love another one, but I've never been able to find anything remotely like this. So then for $3.99 at Spirit they had this one, which is a little bit bigger, but the thing I think is interesting is it's just also for some variety, the coloring is a little bit different. Like this one's more like the, which I guess is actually, my stomach's growling, which I guess is actually more of a natural bone color, but this one is like gray toned, which I thought was interesting and could come in handy having a differently type colored one. So I think that now we actually, just take a little look here. I think now we actually are done with the Spirit Halloween stuff. So, since filming the rest of this video, I got a few more things, and I thought I'd just try to quickly put it on the end of this video because I think it's getting pretty long. Or maybe, I don't know actually exactly when in the video I'll end up putting this in, but here's the first item, which is these really great vampire bat window clings from Walmart. I don't know, like, what amount of light would be best to have in here, because the auxiliary light I have, I'm worried is just going to, like, create glare and then actual darkness on what I'm trying to show, but we'll try it out. I can't really tell what I'm getting. But I love their little, their little faces with their little fangs and their little upturned pig noses, like the little vampire bats in real life do. I like how they're a little bit realistic in that way. They're not like the fully cartoon, just like some of the bats on here where it's like this. Like, not all of them are like that. There's those that are the more just the silhouettes, but then there's also these more detailed ones that look a little bit more like the real bats, which, as someone who loves bats, and like, if I sound weird, it's because I'm betting in a weird position to try to see what I'm getting on the camera, but like, as someone who loves bats, that's really cool to see, like, something that looks a little bit like they're still stylized, but they do look a little bit more like the actual real bats, which I really like. I got another bleeding candle from Spirit Halloween, and this time I got the black ones. And then I also got this pen that is like it's like a little syringe. There's the word I was looking for. A little syringe of some red liquid, which it could be blood, it could be something else, like embalming fluid, and then to make the pen part go back and you just do that. But even when the pen part's out, you can still do the little pumping thing a little bit, so I really got it as a prop. But it does write red ink, which is nice. Then from, I think, Ross. It was a store I don't like ever go into except when it's Halloween, and it's near, it's on the same strip as Michael's that's near me. So when I go into Michael's, then I can just walk over to this other store, and that's why I'm like, is it Marshall's or is it Ross? But I think it's Ross. Both of those stores in my mind I get kind of confused with, because they're like, oh, those stores that I never go into, and they have, I think both of those stores have mostly like clothes and kind of a similar vibe to it. So it's like, which one was it? But this really heavy, substantial metal bat hanger. And it came with the little hanging up thing, a little nail in there. This is very substantial, very heavy, and it's got the sculpting on the face that's very nice. It's kind of like a fruit bat. And that was $6.99. Oh, and it was from Ross. And then from Dollar Tree, I got these plastic spider rings, which I had these from another year that I got for craft projects, but I think they were the purple and then orange is the other color, but hopefully you can tell. Maybe I'll turn the light off for this one, we're getting so much glare. But hopefully you can tell that the one on top is a nice dark red, so that's why I got these. Even though I don't like spiders, I'm like, that nice dark red jewel on there is quite nice if I want to use it for some craft project, or like to just put it on something. That dark red would work well for me, because I always have, like, my colors are like black and red that I work with usually. Then I got these napkins that a year maybe it was last year, they had napkins that were kind of similar to this, but they had kind of like almost a parchment paper type of color background on them. And I did get those, but I haven't used them in a project yet. But I like how these, I got these because I like that they're the gray, which I always end up using gray instead of like a more parchment type color. So I thought that, oh, this is a natural, this works better with the color scheme I usually do. I don't usually really like that parchment type color. And then I think I'm mostly just going to use this for like a costume thing. It's always either extremely hot out or it's extremely cold. So there's never really oh, I'll just wear like a fashion scarf sort of time. It's always either you're wearing a winter scarf or you don't want any extra clothes on at all, because just even a wristwatch will make you feel way hotter and sweatier than you otherwise would be. But it's this scarf that I figured out afterwards is one big ring. So that, if you're trying to do the thing where it's just around your neck, then you wouldn't have it slipping off. But I might also just use it as a thing like in a background for stuff. Like just to have the skulls on it. I don't know yet. I just thought it was cool, so I picked it up. I was also happy to randomly come across this set of 4 fairly thick plastic cups at Dollar Tree. Bon Appetit. Obviously a pun off of Bon Appetit. And they're black with these skeletons in the graveyard kind of dancing around. But I like how tall they are, because a lot of times there'll be a plastic cup and it will be pretty small, but like this could actually have a fair amount of liquid in it. And then I almost forgot about this item that I'm so happy that I came across. It's this Target mirror that was only like, I'm like, there's stuff around the room that's like kind of a mess right now. I don't really want to show, so it's like tricky because it's a mirror, but it's this, you can stand it up. It was in the like dollar stuff section. I think it was $5, but from like different angles, because of the color that it is, it ends up looking like it's some different sorts of colors, although I can only seem to get it to look green at the moment. I'm not sure. It sort of, there's some angle where it kind of looked purple, but I'll be repainting it, so it doesn't really matter. But it's this really cool, like, vampire bat, gothic mirror. Okay, so I guess this is the last thing that I've gotten so far, at least. And this was from Five Below. Five Below has these really, I didn't get any because I don't have room, but for just $5 they have these nice potted, maybe like this tall or something, black glittery branchy trees in a black, like kind of ceramic type pot that it's like a matte black pot that then has like a sort of 3D skull on it. And that's an incredible price for what it is, because like at Michael's they have like a little thing kind of like that, but it'll be way more money. So it's like, wow, I'm really tempted about that. Like if I didn't have so much stuff, I would have gotten at least one of those. But anyway, I didn't end up getting that. But what I did find first, actually, was this little guy here. this little plushie guy that's like this skeleton one. But then I just happened to look at the tag on him, and I saw the voodoo doll, and I'm like, oh holy cow! Do they have in this big bin? Do they have the voodoo doll one? Because that I like voodoo doll stuff. I think they're adorable, but there never is a lot of stuff, and I'm like, why does no one make like a plush thing, like either like a little like doll type thing or uh like a pillow that's like non-actual real voodoo doll, but like a largish one that's like fuzzy and stuff that's like meant to like cuddle up with, because they look like the perfect thing to just be able to like hold and stuff. I'm like, why does no one ever make that? That's such a like kind of an obvious thing to do. Like people make gingerbread men. Why does no one ever do a voodoo doll thing? So I was so happy when I came across this. Look, I can't get over how cute this is. Look at that. It's perfect. He's got like the little pin. My mom thinks that looks like a thermometer, which yes it does. But anyway, well, don't. It's not his fault, Someone put a thermometer in his head. That's their problem. They ran out of pins. They just used a thermometer. But look at the little guy, and it's like his little feet, little dangle feet. All the ones were like this, but like the skeleton one had like little skeleton arms. For some reason, he didn't have little skeleton feet, but he had like skeleton there and like skull there, which I almost got that one, but I'm like, I need to hold back. I'm just gonna get this one because it's so unique. So I finally got my great little voodoo doll guy. It's got like glittery eyes, obviously the heart that's like this sort of it's like the shiny material. And it's like he looks like he's made out of burlap. I just can't get over how great this is. Did I get this yesterday? Maybe it was like the day before. I just recently got this and I can't get over how great it is. Like how adorable that is. Can move his little feet. I can't. This is so great. And he's also, I just noticed he's got a little dart in his tummy, so his little tummy sticks out. Anyway, so, I mean, I wouldn't mind, if there was ever another voodoo doll thing, I wouldn't mind looking into that too, but at least, I mean, I've finally got my, why isn't there a little voodoo doll guy that you can just, like, squeeze thing satisfied? At least somewhat, so I'm so thrilled about that. So anyway, I guess I'll just hold him. So anyway, that is everything that I've gotten so far for Halloween 2024. It's September now, isn't it? Yeah, it's early September. So, it's all the stuff coming into stores. It's been really cool to see. There's some really unique, cool stuff out there. And oh, I guess I'll just say this guy was $5, which very soft, seems really well made. That just like so soft, like how sometimes like a cheap plush thing will be like kind of scratchy or like not well stuffed or something. Not this one. This one's really, really plush, really soft. But anyway, it's been a lot of fun seeing all this stuff, and I hope you enjoyed seeing this video and that you can find whatever things you're hoping to find in your store. So, anyway, thanks for watching, and until next time, wave, stay spooky.